Yeah.
Hey everyone, in today's video I'm going to talk about nutrition, specifically the 6 classes of nutrients and the differences between essential versus non-essential nutrients, as well as micro versus macronutrients. So let's get right into it. First up, water nutrients and why are they important? Well, nutrients are substances that are found in food which are necessary to sustain life. They allow organisms to survive, grow, and reproduce. Also, they provide energy from food in the form of kilocalories, which is the same thing as the calories seen in food packaging. And they provide the building blocks for growth, development, and maintenance, such as replacement of dead cells in the body. And for that reason, they are vital. So with essential versus non-essential nutrients, the concept behind the name is very simple. Essential nutrients are nutrients that the body does not produce on its own, or if at all the body does produce such nutrients, then they are not produced in sufficient amounts for the body's needs. Non-essential nutrients, on the other hand, are nutrients that are produced by the body, and they are produced in sufficient quantities to meet the body's needs. Also note that when essential nutrients are not present in one's diet, the body starts to decline in function because, again, it can't produce those nutrients on its own. However, when the nutrients are introduced into the diet, then the body's biological function will be restored. Moving on to the 6 classes of nutrients, there are carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, vitamins, minerals, and water. Now, let's look at each of these nutrients individually, starting off with carbohydrates. So carbohydrate is energy yielding, meaning it provides the body with energy. It provides majority of the energy in our diet in the form of calories, which is approximately 4 kilocalories per gram. That said, keep in mind that carbohydrates are not the most calorie-dense nutrient, instead lipids are. Lipids contain more kilocalories per gram, as you'll see later. Carbohydrate just happens to be the compound that is easily broken down by the body to provide it with energy. In addition, it is a component of a lot of food we eat, which are the reasons why it provides majority of the body's energy. Oh, and by the way, calorie dense simply means it contains a lot of calories. And now there are 2 types of carbohydrates, which are simple sugars and complex carbohydrates. Simple sugars include table sugar, which tastes sweet, and they are composed of monosaccharides. Complex carbohydrates, on the other hand, includes glycogen, starch, and fiber, and they are composed of polysaccharides. Now, examples of food with carbohydrates in them would include rice, pasta, potatoes, fruits and vegetables, etc. So what are the functions of carbohydrates? Well, as mentioned before, they are the main source of energy for the body. In addition, they are the only source of energy for the brain. So while the body may be able to use other nutrients for energy, such as lipids and proteins, the brain can only use carbohydrates for energy. So without carbohydrate, the brain is not going to function properly, which is why it's important to eat your carbs. Lastly, for carbohydrate, I want to mention that glycogen is found in the liver and it is important for storing energy in humans. And for starch, you can think of it as a plant form of glycogen as it allows plants to store energy. While fiber is the building material used by plants, it makes up their structure, and also I'm sure you've heard that it is an important part of one's diet. Well, that is because it helps to maintain the health of the digestive system. That said, humans cannot digest it. Moving on to lipids, as I mentioned in one of the previous slides, they also provide energy in the form of calories, which is about 9 kilocalories per gram. So as you can see, this is more than that of carbs. Now there are 2 types of lipids, which are fats and oils. Fats are solid and usually contain less healthy fatty acids. Also, they come from animals, an example of which would be fat found on meat. Oils, on the other hand, are liquid and they're usually a bit healthier. They come from plants instead, such as olive oil. Oh, and by the way, fatty acids are the building blocks of lipids, just as glucose is the building block of carbohydrates. Also note that lipid does not dissolve in water, which is why when you mix water and oil together, the oil just floats on the surface of the water. Plus, the essential fatty acids are omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. Again, these are essential as they are not produced by the body, thus they must be consumed in the diet. Now, the functions of lipids include the fact that they provide long-term energy storage, as well as the fact that they regulate essential body processes such as blood clotting and immune system. Examples of lipid in food would include fatty meats and fishes such as salmon and bacon. Oils, butter, nuts, and avocados are also other examples of food containing lipids. Now, looking at proteins, you should know that they also provide energy in the form of calories, and the amount of energy is the same as that of carbs, which is about 4 kilocalories per gram. That said, the body does not like to use protein as an energy source. It will much rather use glucose or even lipids. Proteins are used for energy as a last resort, for example, when one is starving and there is no glucose or lipid available. Then the muscles as well as other body structures will be broken down to get the protein stored in them so they can be used to provide the body with energy. So keep in mind that providing the body with energy is not the main function of proteins. Instead, they are the structural material of the body, meaning they are used in building body components such as hair, skin, nail, muscles, enzymes, blood cells, and other body cells. Also note that protein can be gotten from both plant and animal sources. And animal sources of protein include meat, fish, egg, poultry, milk, and other dairy products such as cheese and yogurt. On the other hand, plant sources of protein include beans, lentils, nuts, etc. And while a lot of fitness influencers are going to advise to eat a lot of protein in order to reach a certain physique or fitness goal, that's not really a good idea because excess protein is going to be stored as fat in the body just like carbs and lipids are. In addition to being stored as fats, the excess protein could also be used to produce carbohydrates to meet the body's needs, say for example, when the body is low on carbs. And lastly, the excess protein may be used as an immediate source of energy. Looking at vitamins, these are organic compounds that just like the other nutrients we talked about so far, and the term organic means that they have carbon and hydrogen bonds in their structure. That said, the function of vitamins is to allow the chemical reactions of the body to take place. And there are two types of vitamins, which are fat-soluble vitamins and water-soluble vitamins. And the fat-soluble vitamins dissolve in fat and oil, however, they do not dissolve in water, hence why they are digested along with lipids. Also, they can be stored in the fatty tissues of the body. And the fat-soluble vitamins include vitamins A, D, E, and K. Water-soluble vitamins, on the other hand, dissolve in water rather than lipids, and unlike fat-soluble vitamins, they are not stored in the body. The water-soluble vitamins are vitamins B and C, and you want to know that there are various types of B vitamins, and also note that vitamins do not provide the body with energy, unlike other types of nutrients we've talked about so far. And also the body does not need vitamins in large amounts. Lastly, vitamins can be found in a wide variety of foods, but fruits and vegetables are especially rich in vitamins. Unlike all the other nutrients we've looked at, which are organic, minerals are inorganic, meaning they do not have any carbon-hydrogen bond in their structure. They perform various functions in the body. For example, they act as electrolytes, which carry electrical signals throughout the muscles and the nervous system. And just like vitamins, these also do not provide energy for the body, meaning they contain 0 kilocalories per gram. Plus, they are needed in small amounts too. They can also be found in a wide variety of foods, especially fruits and vegetables. And there are two types of minerals. We have the major minerals and the trace minerals. Now, the major minerals are those that are needed in larger amounts in the body, and they include potassium, calcium, chloride, magnesium, phosphorus, sodium, and sulfur. Whereas the trace minerals, on the other hand, are those that are needed in small amounts in the body, and they include fluoride, iodide, iron, manganese, copper, zinc, chromium, molybdenum, and selenium. And feel free to pause the video if you want to take note of those. Now we'll look at the last type of nutrient, which is water, and this is also inorganic like minerals, and in addition, it doesn't provide the body with energy, so it has no calories. Water can be found in foods such as fruits and vegetables, and it is very important as it performs a number of vital functions in the body, which include acting as a solvent, whereby substances are dissolved in it and are then transported throughout the body. Water also acts as a lubricant. For example, many joints contain a watery fluid, which lubricates them and prevents damage. Water also helps in transporting nutrients and waste throughout the body, and water is also needed to regulate body temperature through the movement of blood throughout the body. Again, water is important, and as a matter of fact, it makes up 60% of the body, so the majority of our body weight is made up of water. Lastly, I'll explain the difference between micronutrients and macronutrients. Micronutrients, well, these do not provide the body with energy in the form of calories, and they are needed in small quantities such as in milligrams or micrograms. The micronutrients are vitamins and minerals because if you recall from the previous slides, both vitamins and minerals contain no calories and are needed in small quantities. Macronutrients, on the other hand, provide energy in the form of calories, and they are needed in larger quantities such as in grams. Nutrients that have such properties and so fall under this category are carbohydrates, lipid, protein, and water. Now, water is the only odd one here because if you recall, water does not provide energy in the form of calories. However, they are needed in large amounts for the body to function properly. Alright, so that's it for this video. If you have any questions, you can go ahead, leave them in the comments below, and I'll get back to you. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you find this video helpful, and you can share this video with others who you think might benefit from it. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your studies.